Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. Today is March 23rd, 2020, and the time is 4:31. Do we have any cards, any comments from the public? Okay. Comments from the board, beginning with Madam President.
No, Mayor, no comments.
I'm sorry. Commissioner Neary.
No comments.
Commissioner Rouse.
No comment.
Commissioner Show.
No comments, thank you.
Okay, and I don't have any comments either, just to make it a clean sweep. Any additions, deletions, reorganization of the agenda?
No, Mayor.
Justice? Okay. That being said, we will proceed right into item number 2, which is resolution number 2018, authorizing a funding interlocal agreement between the City of West Palm Beach and the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency for the Banyan Boulevard Streetscape Project.
Mayor, Commissioners, my co-project manager, Vladimir Janot, is going to help go through a presentation. We're going to just talk a little bit about what we've been through in the design process for Banyan Boulevard, where we are now, which right now we're asking for the interlocal funding agreement to allow the CRA from our bond proceeds to fund the construction of the first phase of Banyan Boulevard. This is, the scope of this project is broken up in 2 phases right now. Phase 1 is from Australian Avenue to Quadrille Boulevard, and Phase 2 will be from Quadrille Boulevard to Flagler Drive. We are looking to start Phase 1 right away, spring, summer of 2020. And in fact, with a lot of these projects, we're excited to move forward as quickly as possible to keep people working, and while businesses and traffic is lightened during this period, and businesses are struggling a little to keep people in business and start these construction projects. We'll work with our contractor to get this project started as soon as we can. Resolution 357-19 was approved on November 18th. That was for the design. That was the face of the city approval. These project scoped, really the purpose of this project was to increase safety, to add connectivity to the to and from the historic Northwest. We're adding shade, lighting, drainage, adding protected bike lanes, and also a really important part of it is the median, where possible, to increase safety, to make a more pleasant, slow driving environment on Banyan Boulevard from where it is right now. The public input on this project, there's been quite a bit of public input, and we continue to have public input because of the importance of Banyan Boulevard and the scope of work. We'll continue to have meetings. We have Cooper Construction. Veronica Cooper is on as our public relations consultant. She's helping with our outreach. These are the different areas that we've had public meetings, and like I said, we continue to talk as when we move into the construction phase with the impacted stakeholders about the phasing of the project.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, mayors and commissioners. Vladimir Janot, Special Project Manager for the Engineering Department. And I'll be talking more on the continuous on the outreach program on what we plan for during this project. Is that our goal is to always maintain access throughout the duration of the project. And our outreach team will do our best. We're committed to reach to every stakeholder, every phase of the project, whether it's to the media or to ways or to other various means that we have to reach out to them to let them know that MOT is changing and let them know what's going on the project. And with that, we have an active line, a 24/7 information line that's been active since July 2019 that anyone can call and get information on the project, or if any questions that they have can be answered to that means. And that comes straight to the project team, and we can readily provide the information that's needed. The cost and the schedule for this project, as Alison mentioned, we are here for the GMP Phase 1, which is a total of $15,461,000. $731.56. That's the guaranteed price that the contractor gave us for phase one that will take us from Australian to Quadrille Boulevard. And that project is being funded by CRA and also some funding from the Capital Acquisition Fund. And we are proposed to start spring or summer 2020 to summer 2022. The next step is that to approve this resolution before you today, but also we have the companion resolution that will be part of this City Commission meeting, 5720 and 5820. We're asking for approval of those two resolutions, and by doing so, that will allow us to execute the contract with the CMAR, which is Whiting Turner. A staff recommendation is to approve resolution number 2018, authorizing a funding interlocal agreement between the City of West Palm Beach and the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency for the Banyan Boulevard project, and the companion city for resolution 5720 and 5728. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. Any questions, board members? Madam President.
Just two comments, Mayor, if I might. Just one, just wanted to say thank you. I know at our Mayor Commission work session that staff did express what you expressed tonight, is that you're staying in touch with all the stakeholders, and I appreciate that, as I've heard from a few of them even since then. Also, Mayor, wanted just to put on the record that I have recused myself in past as it relates to projects that include WGI, and while they are involved in this project, I did check with our ethics officer, and that WGI receives no financial benefit from this, and so I have been permitted to vote on it.
Okay. Commissioner Neary.
Thank you. Thanks for your presentation. Is there another part of this presentation, or is this it?
That's it.
Could you talk a little bit about, I know there were some concerns from the county's perspective, and I think we met as many as we could. Could you just do a brief synopsis of their concerns and the ones that we were able to meet?
Okay. So we met with a lot of stakeholders, including the county. The county, through various meetings with them, because we started meeting with them throughout the design and even now to the MOT phase. So they had some concerns in regards to left turning lane elimination on Dixie and Banyan, as well as Rosemary and Banyan. In the point of safety that you will see, I'll go back just a little bit. We, on Rosemary, we have a median. The median is on the east side when you cross the intersection, and that will enforce safety. Because when we look at all the crossings, we are working on the equity between Northwest and downtown. So that will allow people from the Northwest to safely cross the road. And when you have a 5-lane roadway, the middle lane sometimes is referred to as suicide lane, because there is no refuge for any pedestrian. So we look at those, the benefit outweigh some of the items that the county were asking for. So we focus more on the side of safety, and that's the reason why we didn't see eye to eye on the turning movement for those 2 lanes elimination. The next thing that we talked about were access to the federal courthouse, the transport of the prisoners. Those, we made concessions to them, and that's where our project, if you remember back we used to say that the whole project would be 2 years, but because of those concessions and the way that we base our MOT, it actually lengthens the project. Also, so we took care of them on that through the MOT, because we still provide them access to 2/3 of the project. During the 2/3 duration of the project, the courthouse, the federal, the jurors, they will still have access on Banyan, despite there will be traffic, but most of the impact will be less if we had gone forward with the previous MOT plan that we had presented to them. So that's one way we made concessions to them. Also, they wanted us to work at night throughout the whole project. But we met, and when looking at the cost, we saw the benefit was to actually, if we work directly, when we're working directly on areas that directly impact the county, we made concessions to work at night during on those areas. So that's where we give them, we made some trade-off to benefit, the request made.
Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Shaw.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your presentation. I had some similar questions, and I just want to make sure I understood what you said there. On the elimination of turn lanes, there was basically a choice between a median and a turn lane.
Correct.
And so the preference was given to the median versus the turn lane. And can you tell me what that was based off of? Was that based off of a traffic study? Was that based off of a foot traffic study? How do we come to that conclusion?
Okay. Yes, we did a traffic study throughout the whole corridor. I don't have the numbers directly in front of me. So in those intersections, the turning movements were very little. Some of them were in the 20s in the afternoon. So in the morning, everybody's coming to downtown, so we couldn't do any lane eliminations on the eastbound side. When in the afternoon, everybody tends to leave at different time. So when we looked at those movement and the traffic study, it says that making that left turn on Banyan on Dixie from Banyan, also making the left turn on Rosemary from Banyan, those numbers were very insignificant. So looking at that and looking at the equity that we talk about between the Northwest and downtown and having people crossing, so that we can ensure safety, we favor in the median to provide refuge for the pedestrian versus what we call a suicide lane.
Yep. And just to summarize, Commissioner, there is a traffic study. It does not change, the level of service does not change in our 2040 projections. So with no turn lane, the traffic, the level of service is the same. So we're not sacrificing level of service on this. Maybe convenience for someone, but not level of service.
So just to clarify, headed eastbound, there's still a turn lane that would go down Sapodilla, one that would go Banyan's. Olive is pretty much a non-starter because you can only take the left-hand turn there. And then there's still a turn at Quadrille. So
And Rosemary.
Correct, yes.
okay, so we'll still have those turns established both ways. And then when you're headed westbound out Banyan to make the left-hand turn onto Australian, will we still maintain those two left-hand turn lanes?
Correct, yes. And the picture on the top here, that's by the TV station, and we have 3 lanes, so 2 lanes turn left and 1 turn right.
Okay, that was my point of clarification because I only see one turn lane in this
arrow.
photo.
Yes, the car is on it, so sorry.
Okay, and if I may, just one more, Mayor.
Yes.
You had mentioned working night hours to accommodate what the schedule was and making those concessions during specific times. What specific times were there at the beginning of the project, at the end of the project? How were those hours determined?
Can you repeat that for me?
Sure. You had specified that we looked into night hours for the duration of the project, which was cost prohibitive, but said that there were concessions made where there will be some overnight working hours. Can you explain what those working hours are?
Yeah, so we looked at the schedules. When the first time we come into conflict is the TV station. So their driveway access, those will be done when staff is not here. So like, for example, Friday nights, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. So, and we apply that throughout the corridor to any access point that will impede a stakeholder from accessing their property. So that's where we made concessions. When we talked to a lot of the stakeholders, they wanted to still have access. So we developed those schedule specifically to work nights, weekends, and holidays during any time we're working on any entrance of any property.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve Resolution 20-18.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries unanimously.
Mayor,
Yes.
I failed to verbally express yay on that.
So are you expressing yea now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Let the record reflect that that is a unanimous vote. Thank you all very much, and that is the only item on this agenda, so this meeting is adjourned. In 2 minutes, we will reconvene. At 4:48, we will reconvene as the Golf Commission.